Hello, Dinara.
Hi, James.
So welcome back, everybody. And now, I remember in the last video, you signed off with, please tell us what your worst and most difficult tense is. And I think we're going to be looking at one of the ones that is very challenging. So it's the present perfect we're looking at today. So some facets with its use. And through looking at the present perfect, you can get a bit of an idea about how perfect tenses generally are used. So because just remember, with English, we have 6 perfect tenses that I can think of at least. So present perfect simple, present perfect continuous, past perfect simple, past perfect continuous, future perfect continuous. Just trying to think what the 6th one is.
And future perfect, I think you forgot it.
Yes, I think, and future perfect simple, of course. Yeah, that's the last one. So let's have a look at it today. Don't worry, there is a trick to this, and we will explain. So study this example situation. Tom can't find his key. He's lost his key. Just remember, he's or she's or it's or whose or a bunch of other ones, this can either mean is or has, depending on the context. You know from the context that it means has. Because if you said he's lost without the his key, it probably means he is lost, not, which is different. He has lost. So he has lost his key means he lost it and he doesn't have it now. That's the key. So just remember, this is the most important thing to remember with this tense, is you have something that starts in the past and continues to the present. Okay? So it directly affects something that happened at some point in the past directly impacts the present. That's the key thing to remember about this tense. So have lost or has lost is the present perfect simple. I have finished or I've finished. We've lost or we have lost, of course. They've done. You've been. He's finished. She's lost. It's done. So the present perfect simple is have or has plus the past participle. And the past participle, remember, it often ends in ed. Finished, decided. But many verbs are irregular. And remember that the irregular ones, like lost, done, written, sometimes they are the same as the irregular form of the past simple, like lost, for example, but sometimes they are different. Done, written, gone, etc. This is why, when we write down English verbs, we often put it in 3, as in 3 categories. So lose, lost, lost, put, as in, or write, wrote, written, go, went, gone. So just so that you remember what the past participle is. And the past participle is pretty much always written at the end. Okay. So just remember that. So, and as with irregular verbs generally, these verbs, the vast majority of verbs are regular, but some of the most common verbs, many of the most common verbs are irregular. So that's why verbs like do, write, go, be, etc. Many of these are see, hear, many of these are irregular. So when we say something has happened, this is usually new information. Ow, I've cut my finger. The road is closed. There's been an accident. So there's been is obviously short for there has been. Police have arrested 2 men in connection with a robbery. This is actually why it's very commonly used in with the news. So for example, you could say something like, the mayor has announced new plans to build a road, to build a new bypass road, for example. When we use the present perfect, there is a connection with now. So the action in the past has a result now. Tom has lost his key. That implicitly means he it now. He told me his name, but I've forgotten it. I can't remember it now. Sally is still here. She hasn't gone out. So she's still here now. I can't find my bag. Have you seen it? I don't know where it is. Do you know where it is now? That's what the implicit meaning is. So if we have a look and then we compare a couple of these, gone to and been to. So James is on holiday. He has gone to Italy. So he is there now or on his way there is what that means. But Amy is back home now. She has been to Italy. She has now come back is what that means. You can use the present perfect with just, already, or yet. So these are some common ones. There are other ones as well, like still, for example, would be another one. Since, since might be another one as well. So there are a few, but just, already, and yet are commonly used with this tense. Are you hungry? No, I've just had lunch. Hello, have you just arrived? So this means a short time ago. Already means sooner than expected. So don't forget to pay the bill. I've already paid it. What time is Mark leaving? He's already left. Whereas yet means until now. So we use yet to show that we are expecting something to happen. So we use yet in questions in negative sentences. Has it stopped raining yet? I've written the email, but I haven't sent it yet. So that's yet. Or even really simple ones, I haven't gone to bed yet. So I'm still awake, I haven't gone to bed yet. So just remember. You can use the past simple, did, went, or had in the examples on this page. So you can say, Ben isn't here, he's gone out, or he went out. You can say either. Personally, I think it's better to say he's gone out, but you can say either.
Yeah, because I suppose he's gone out is more British English.
No, absolutely not. No. There is no difference between varieties of English in terms of whether they use the past simple or So the only thing that you see native speakers doing is when it comes to this is mixing up the past participle and the past simple form. So, for example, he's already drank 3 beers. That is an example of a mistake that native speakers say, but the native speakers who would make that mistake would be either British English speakers or American English speakers. So you hear it in both. He's already wrote you, so as in that's another example of a mistake. But in terms of who uses the present perfect and who doesn't, it's exactly the same. So, but it's used in both very commonly. So this is not a difference in standard forms of the language.
And when I watch films in original, I've noticed that when they show less educated people, they make a lot of mistakes in grammar.
Yes, absolutely.
They say you was instead of you were.
Yeah. And this is also, these aren't always mistakes, of course. So these can be features of dialects, because you've got to remember that a slight majority of Americans speak something called General American, which is the standard. So a slight majority, probably. So I'm guesstimating there, but a slim majority speak General American, but many people speak dialects. So, and that's especially true if you're east of the Mississippi when it comes to American English. British English, standard British English, known as RP or standard Southern British English, is now the new variety. Is standard Southern English is this is a prestige dialect. So it is not one spoken by most people. It is the form that is used on television. And it's the form that's used that is associated with education. So that's why you'll often, so people who speak dialects tend to, or with heavy accents, tend to have grown up and stayed in the same area that they've always been in. So they've developed the dialect, or they've developed the accent. for that particular location. So that's what often happens. And also sometimes it's education related. So that's why you'll see them making mistakes. But obviously what is considered a mistake now in 50 years time might be considered the norm, because languages, they evolve. So, but that's why they often do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Very interesting. I find one exercise will be interesting. It's a comparison between been and or gone, because this thing took me some time to understand for a foreigner.
Yes.
So, for example, my parents are on holiday. They've gone to Italy. So I suppose they are still, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or on their way.
Hello, I've just blah blah to the shops. I bought lots of things. Okay. Hello, I've just been to the shops. I've bought lots of things.
Yeah.
So I been, as it was said before. So we're already back.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is that if you said I've gone out to the shops, you could say I went out to the shops and you're back, but as in I've gone out to the shops, that generally you would say that if someone's just called you. If someone's called you and then, where are you? I've just gone out to the shops. So so there you could either say I've just gone out to the shops or I'm out shopping. You can say either or basically with that one. But yeah, it takes some getting used to that. So if you say someone has gone, it means that they are there now or on their way there. Whereas someone's been is they're back now.
I see. There are a lot of on YouTube and Instagram teachers who are not natives and they teach English, and even me, I can hear, I understand, I can see that they teach strange English, and that is why it's very important. I'm very happy that you help us with these videos, because your English is classical. You also think that it's very important to be precise, not just to make up stories in your head about the language.
Yeah.
And these things, guys, are very important to know these details. Even if you think that it's useless, no, it is useful, especially if we're talking about preparing for the exams and using English work and maybe to study abroad, to speak with natives. So.
Exactly. I think that's why it's useful to learn these things through context. So this is why it's useful to pick up which tenses to use, for example, in context when you're speaking. Speaking is the best method to pick these up, because you can know the theory, but you do need to put it into practice. That's the thing. And you need to get a feel for when to use what. But once you have that, you can give your English a lot of nuance and extra layers of meaning. So, as in and you can change the meaning quite nicely through using the right tense. So you can give a different nuance to what you mean to say. These tools, it's difficult to learn initially, but when you get used to it, you realize that this is actually very, it can become a tool for your disposal. So that's the way to think of it. So once you've cracked it, it's easier it makes things easier.
And always please checked sources to study anything. Because online you can find now everything. And for example, on I would advise you to use the British Council's website. Their applications, they are great. Most of them are free. They, of course, teach what is 100% correct. So, and with speaking, we can help you. You can find us on our social media, and please share these videos with everyone who studies English. See you in our next episodes. Bye.
Bye-bye.